but that pent up demand, that's not going anywhere. That demand for wanting to buy a home and to own a home and to have something that's theirs, that ain't going away. And we've got rising population, good job growth. Bottom line is the underlying fundamentals of real estate, supply and demand. We do not have enough supply to satisfy the demand, which is going to keep prices buoyant.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of our famous show. Well, I was going to say 15 viewers and growing. So we appreciate our parents. 18. There you go. Well, there's a reason I had 4 kids. So they're watching, and I appreciate all the support from Murdoch High School watching at your lunch. So
there you go.
Yeah, another kick of the can. Here we go. Murray, how are things?
Good.
Deep into the fall market we are.
Been running hard this fall, and it's starting to, just come back a little bit, which is great, and give us time to get some stuff caught up and done. But
absolutely,
it's going well.
Yes. Well, we hope you guys are all well, and thank you for joining us on another episode of Real-Tor Talk. We always want to be here for you guys. There's so much going on, and our guest is going to break that down even more when it comes to the real estate world. We owe a lot to him, so we appreciate his time with us today. But yeah, we're going to get into what we've seen in the market so far in the fall market. As we always remind people, there's kind of this not really publicized 2 points of the real estate market: the spring market and the fall market. So generally, the fall market goes really strong till the beginning of December, and then things kind of slow down a little bit before we pick up again for the spring market. So the fall market, we've seen some really good things, and we're going to dive into that a little bit later on in the show. And talking about diving into things, Murray, you're going to talk while I dive into.
You're going to eat. So we're going to talk about Newburger.
I'll thank my choir teacher for that soprano note he taught me 20 years ago. Newburger.
So we're going to talk about Newburger. So this was a restaurant in Winnipeg that sells burgers, obviously. That was started in 2011. It actually originally called Unburger, and I actually ate there when they were Unburger. But the reason of the name change came down to people were thinking it was more of a vegetarian place because of the name Unburger. So they were thinking, hey, there's no beef patties, which they've always had beef patties. So, you know what? 2 buddies got together and started this. Mark Priestley, and if I'm saying his name wrong, I apologize, and Kyle Matheson started this together. It was kind of the thing that buddies get together and drink beers over and imagine they're going to start a company. Well, they actually did it, right? And their whole goal was to build a better burger, sourcing local materials and having a positive impact on the environment, so they're not killing everything as they go. So it was great, and this is what they've done, and they've won a couple of awards for it, and they're actually a pretty big deal. And there's 4 I believe they have 4 locations in Winnipeg. Well, I guess 3 are in the city. 1 is out at Pine Ridge Hollow. So but I mean,
anywhere you go, just like Royal LePage Pride,
we're there.
We're over by IKEA. We have 1 down Portage. We have 1 on Henderson,
1 in Transcona, technically,
and Transcona, everywhere.
So great burger. I'm a huge burger fan. I mean, every little town I used to go to, I'd get a burger in every town, try them and see how they're good. And that was just my thing, right? So love burgers. So this is one of my top ones in the city that I actually do enjoy. So Jesse and I are just going to sample this puppy. Cheers, Jesse.
Should we dink it and sink it? Dink, sink. This is odd because now we can't talk. Well, we were trying to increase viewership here, but now we're good. You know what's great about Winnipeg and surrounding areas? You talked about when you go to different areas. If you guys out there know of a great burger place, we have a little burger week, right? And all that other stuff. If you guys have a great place that you love burgers, drop them on the comment screen. We love interacting with everybody like that. So let us know where you get your favorite burger. And burgers don't always have to be with beef in it. No. Doesn't have to have a bun. It can be a vegan burger. It can be
there's some great vegetarian burgers out there.
Absolutely.
I've had them. There are definitely some great vegetarian burgers out there. There's chicken, whatever. I mean, whatever you want to slap on it, right? You
That's right.
Consider a pulled pork burger a burger.
For sure. But the key is that we love to support local, showcase local, and there's so many great places out there, as we've seen with the burger weeks before in the past. But if there's a place that, is maybe just up on the rise here, let it know. Right, let everybody know that. Yeah,
keep us informed, because we'll love to share this with people, and we just like supporting local. I mean, we've got a great little city here, and we've got a lot of local businesses that do a great job, and people don't know about them, so we want to share that word.
That's right. All right, so let's get on with the show. Realtor Talk here. We are a reliable source for home ownership inside and outside your home. And where we, with the years that we put in with real estate, there is, can we call him the Godfather? I think he would say that his dad is
He's
the Godfather.
So he's the godson.
He's the godson, I guess, if you want to say. Michael Froese is joining us here. Of course, our boss at LePage Prime. You can't let him wait. Yeah, you gotta bring him in.
We
not let him wait.
See, he's a blank screen.
He's not even there. He's shy.
He ran away.
Oh no, he's not there. Well, you know what? Some businesses are starting to have AI running their show. No, there he is. He's a real person. There he is, Michael Froese.
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know I was just in the waiting room. Did you guys?
No, I don't know. Murray was taking forever to let you in. He thought we were calling you the Godfather, but we would say that your dad is the Godfather. Your dad, along with some others, started Real-Page Prime, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my dad, John and Wayne Penner, were partners, and they were partners since 1988. They had actually had Home Life Property franchise before that, and they bought into Real-Page in 2001. So they're definitely the Godfathers for me. Absolutely.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I love when John Froese comes into our office. It's just you sit back and the knowledge, right? He's been through it all, and we're going to talk about what we've seen in the last couple months and couple years. But I love when Michael always brings up, like, just listen to John. If you're freaking out now over the last 5 years, he's been through it, right?
Yeah, that's definitely a benefit of having somebody like my dad around, is that the fact that they've come through it all, they've seen it all. They've seen businesses boom, they've seen them close, they've been through interest rates. And so it definitely adds some perspective, and some perspective and a lot of wisdom, and keeps me from freaking out a little bit. So
yeah, well, you know what? I think, maybe a little bit with the pandemic thrown into our lives over the last 5-6 years, I think we've seen a lot happened in these years because of that. Who knows what, the past and the future holds with us.
Yep.
But I think that definitely did something to all of us that we weren't prepared for. And now we're we don't want to say the pandemic is gone. We don't want to say COVID is gone. It's still here and stuff. But we are kind of on that, backside of what we saw because of it, because of low interest rates. And we're starting to see a little shift here in the fall. Can you maybe talk about what Winnipeg has seen in the last couple months?
Sure. Well, I mean, it's been more than a couple of months. I mean, if you look back, again, it's almost, we talk about COVID ad nauseum here, but at the same time, it was a monumental thing that happened across the world, and the real estate markets, reacted and acted during the pandemic like we've never seen before. So, the big boom of the pandemic, 21, 22, we just saw massive pent-up demand, low interest rates, just an unbridled demand for housing, nowhere near enough supply to fuel that, and so prices skyrocketed. And what happened, especially in the first half of 2022, it actually was a rocket ship the first 6 months, and then when all the interest rate hikes started to come, the market really cooled down. And so what we saw throughout this year in 2023 was a return to normal, return to reason, a return to an actually properly behaving Winnipeg real estate market, which is, to be honest, very predictable. And the predictable market cycles in Winnipeg, and this is, going back, the most far back data that I have, anyways, is to 1977. And what it is simply, spring picks up a little bit, it's busier in spring, market activity picks up, and prices start to rise throughout the spring. And in the summer months, things kind of plateau. Activity sort of plateaus, prices plateau, and then in the winter months, in the fall, there's usually a slight burst of activity and prices in the October, November range, and that's totally weather dependent. It's weird. I wish I could say without fail it's always October or always November. It kind of depends on the weather, but we just saw the October numbers came in. Prices are up 5% from where they were last October, and sales were also up from last October as well. So we saw this flurry of activity here in October, and what happens in the winter? Hey, it's snowing, it gets cold, and the market cools off a little bit as well. So, and that just goes on repeat year after year. And so that's what we saw in 2023. The market echoed what it always does outside of those pandemic years. So that's what's been happening over the last couple of months and last couple of years.
So, like, Michael, one of the things we hear in the news a lot is that everything's going to fall apart and crumble and crash here, and we're going to have all our housing crash, and we're all going to lose value and whatever. So, what's your narrative on that?
Well, heard that before, right? They, the doom and gloom, the sky is falling. It's not the first time, we've heard this. And so far they've been, or whoever they are, been completely wrong. So, and I don't know why, we've talked about this too, Jesse and Murray, I'm not sure why always the fear mongering and fear baiting, and if it's for clicks, I don't know. But when you look at the underlying fundamentals of our market, right? Activity is always going to follow the seasonal norms. And for a home seller, activity just means, okay, maybe it takes a little bit longer to sell your home, or maybe it's a little bit quicker. But when it comes to prices, that's what everyone really cares about, right? Is, am I losing value in my home? And the market is not crashing. Home values are not going to be plummeting. And the main reason why, well, I guess, is back to economics 101, supply and demand. Canada and Winnipeg are historically, we have a housing shortage. There's not enough housing to satisfy the demand. The populations in Canada is at an all-time high. It is rising rapidly. Same thing in Winnipeg and Manitoba. So what we have here, even right now, I was just looking here. Sorry, I had the chart pulled up, and then your beautiful faces came in front of it. So inventory.
Me sucking up to the boss's compliments. Wow, Michael, oh, stop it.
Hey, but inventory, although climbing, we're ahead of last year. So we're 10% higher than we were last year, 55% higher than 2021, which is great news. There's way more selection. If you were a buyer in 2021, it was horrible, right? Nothing to choose from. But you go back to 2019, our inventory is down 25%. So from pre-pandemic levels, call it normal, we're still way short by, right now about 1,500 listings. So we don't have an overabundance of supply, and demand is continually climbing. People want to buy homes. Home ownership is not a fad. It's not gone out of style. People would prefer to own a home than rent. And maybe some of those buyers, some of that demand, has subsided a bit with the rising rates, and people are adjusting their lifestyles and adjusting their budgets. But that pent up demand, that's not going anywhere. That demand for wanting to buy a home and to own a home and to have something that's theirs, that ain't going away. And we've got rising population, good job growth. Bottom line is the underlying fundamentals of real estate, supply and demand. We do not have enough supply to satisfy the demand, which is going to keep prices buoyant and behaving again, back to normal. We can expect to see moderate growth year over year. And that's good news that it's not going up 20% anymore. God, that was, hey, I get the lottery ticket as a homeowner. You're thinking this is great, but as an overall economy, as an overall health of the market, it's just terrible to have prices escalate like that. So this is a good thing that we're returning to normal, returning to a stable, balanced market. Good news.
Yeah, and I think, like Michael brings up, a couple key words that's really good is demand. I love demand, hearing from Michael, because for so many years, you can even see decades, there was a demand for a good football team that Michael knows and loves about so much. And the demand was there and the stability was not there. Michael, how are you feeling recently? I'm going to go off script here. Life is good as a Lions fan.
Yeah, I can't complain. He's
been speechless. He doesn't even know what to say as a Lions fan.
To go into the break.
The dream's over.
Yeah, well, no, to go into the break, the bye week, 6-2, on top of the NFC North, one of the top teams in the NFC and in the league as well. It's an uncomfortable position, to be honest. I don't know what to do. I don't know what these Kansas City fans are been doing all these years. It's just glory all year after year for the last number of years. I don't even know what to do. I don't know what to think. I'm cautiously optimistic, I would say, because after being a Lions fan for 34 years, it's been 34 years of being a Lions fan. It's a lot of losing. I
don't think you've gone deep.
A lot of scars to go over. So I'm loving it. At the same time, all those memories, like they're still bubbling under the surface there. So.
I don't think that you've hit the first week of November with this many Victory Mondays, feeling so good on a Monday morning.
No, it's
what do you do with yourself? Like
it's
you're
a good
usually
time.
preparing.
Pardon?
I said you usually prepare yourself for kind of a downer Monday,
Yeah, no, I'm walking in. Hey, chest is head is high and chest is out on Mondays, and on Tuesday this week, because we took care of the Raiders there. So I think they're the last number. I think they're like 5-0 in their last 5 primetime games as well. So again, it's a good time. I'm enjoying the ride for sure. I'm not taking it for granted.
Well, you enjoyed that victory. Murray's not a huge football fan, but Murray, that Monday night victory they recently had was the first Monday night victory. What, 2018? So we're talking about like going back before the market, like incredible. So maybe you'll get another one. Maybe you'll get another primetime game.
Yeah, we will for sure. Hey, we got Thanksgiving coming up.
For sure. Well, their head coach drinks about 7 Red Bulls and espresso shots before 9 a.m.
Yeah, he's got like 2. I think I saw an interview with him. He takes like 2 venti, like 20-ounce coffees and 2 shots of espresso in each one of those, and that's what he bangs out in the morning. And so, yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Having a mass heart attack on the sidelines.
I know. I don't know how he did that, but I mean, he's a big guy. He's a monster, so it all kind of makes sense. It really jives with his brand for sure.
The bigger heart. But okay, so yeah, so I wanted to go off script a little bit, but no, it's it's right. It's what, the reason that I kind of brought in Detroit Lions, whether you're a football fan or not, or anything that we've dealt with, I think there's great comparisons that we can go through when in the position that we're in. And we're going to have an episode talking to someone from RBC about interest rates and everything like that. But on the real estate side of things, going into next year, I mean, I don't know below you if you have a crystal ball. I know we don't have one here. So I'm not going to put you on the spot. Oh, what's the spring market going to be like? But I think the key is, like I said, with the Detroit Lions and other situations that we have in life, is sitting down and, being calm.
Completely.
This is usually what the Detroit Lions run into.
Yeah. Hello?
Usually there's success.
You froze there, Michael.
And there's some hiccups along the way.
Sorry, you guys froze on my end.
You froze on our end, so I don't know.
I just told Murray, usually just freezing, and after doing so well, use the Lions, they don't know where they are and they freeze for a while. And
yeah, the internet waves there just couldn't handle all the Lions.
All the success talk.
Yeah. It was the apocalypse. They thought we needed to AI was checking itself a little bit there because Lion stuff. But anyways, so last I heard you were talking about you're talking about the crystal ball and into the spring market is what I heard. Is that right?
Yeah, you don't have one, but like the Lions, they were sitting down, being calm. There's a plan that they followed, as we all do in other situations in our life. There is ways of not having that crystal ball and getting ready for the spring market, whether you know the answer or we don't know the answer. So what would you say about, without having that crystal ball, what are we kind of looking at, as we move to 2024?
Yeah. So again, no crystal ball, as you said. What I do have though is history, right? What we do have is history. What we have is track record. And so, you can look at your past track record as an indication of potential future success, right? And so Winnipeg, has done this before. And so looking at history, and like I mentioned earlier, it's clockwork. The very few the pandemic are the only outliers in maybe 2008. Outside of that, the market behaves quite predictably. And so as far as having a plan going into, the winter months and into the spring, in the winter months, November, December, and January, expect, activity to slow. Fewer listings are going to come up every week as we approach Christmas. It's the holiday season. It's getting cold. That's what happens. And then as we move out of that, activity picks up. There's more listings come to market and through the spring, and then more buyers come to market as well. And overall market activity starts bubbling up in the spring. So it depends if you're a buyer or a seller right now. There's opportunity in both. Right. If you're a seller right now and you're considering selling it, it's winter, it's a bad time, I'm going to wait till spring. Yeah, well, you and everyone else. So sometimes being, depending on the market, depending on the price range you're in, the neighborhood, get advice from your local realtor, of course, like you guys, and to say, hey, there's nothing else in the market right now. You know what? There's been one home that sold last week. There was 10 offers on it, and you're the only shop in town. Great. That might be a great time to sell. So every market is going to be local. Every price range is going to be different as well. And if you're a buyer right now, there's some really good buys right now. There's some good deals. At the same time, with fewer homes coming on the market, there might be fewer to choose from. So there's pros and cons to everything. And that's what's so important is, getting your budget together. And I shared with you this earlier today. You can learn a lot from what's going on with the Jets, with the low attendance and whatever else. People are making lifestyle changes, right? Everything's gotten more expensive. Inflation is nuts. The groceries are crazy. You're paying an arm and a leg for milk. And so the first thing people aren't going to walk away from their mortgages and walk away from their homes and leave their children homeless to go to a Jets game. sorry, they're not going to go to a Jets game. They're going to pay the mortgage, right? They're going to pay their taxes, they're going to pay their insurance, going to pay all the other rising costs, put food on the table for their kids. So some of these luxury spends, they're the ones that are first to go, not the homes. So have a good, solid financial plan, get good advice, live within your means, make that budget, what you can deal with and you can afford based on the interest rates, because you can't change interest rates and you have no control over them. You control over your home budget, your spending. Get a good realtor like you guys, set the plan and know what you're looking for. If you're selling, get a good lay of the land on when is going to be the right time to sell, depending on the competition in the neighborhood. And like I said, have a good plan, stick to it, and you'll be all right.
Yeah. I'm going to put you on the spot with this because I didn't say I was going to ask you about this, but you're a very knowledgeable person here. I got to give him a compliment back. He's given us a couple already. What do you see? We've seen the last couple of years with these smaller communities. Niverville, fastest growing community just a couple of years ago. We're seeing it all over. I mean, we live on the east side of the city, so I haven't gone out to Oak Bank and all these other places on at least the east and the south side more in the last 3 years. I even have some clients that work on the west side of the city that were willing to drive every day to New Bothwell. Where do you see these smaller communities investing in more and more housing and how it's kind of changing how people are thinking as buyers?
Yeah, great question. COVID and the pandemic really helped the bedroom communities. In the way from an economic standpoint, maybe not physically or health wise, but from a COVID changed now, like remote work as an example. People are, that's a huge priority. And a lot of employers are allowing remote work or hybrid work. So that drive into the office, well, they don't have to make it 5 days a week now. Maybe they don't have to make it at all. So living rurally, having more land, having more bang for buck, because that's what the bedroom communities typically have is better bang for buck, right? You can buy more land, more house for the price than being in the city. So that's what draws a lot of people out that way. And the fact was, what kept people from those bedroom communities was sometimes the commute, and it was the drive and the inconvenience factor. Well, now with, again, high-speed internet's everywhere, cell coverage is better everywhere. It's more convenient to work from home. People are working from the lake. You can still operate their businesses from the laptop at the dock. So taking that pain point of inconvenience out the way, those bedroom communities become even more attractive. And again, so you're getting the affordability with it, and better bang for buck with less inconvenience. So I expect that trend to continue to grow as Canadians, Winnipeggers, Manitobans have more emphasis on their homes, because their home has turned into not just their home anymore. It's their office, it's their library, it's their gym, it's their boardrooms now. So it's just shifted that priority more to home, giving them more choices, more flexibility, and that's where those bedroom communities are going to continue to thrive.
Yeah. And just a side note, New Bothwell, it has good internet options. So I looked into that. Right.
Look at Starlink, right? Starlink came in at the lake. We had
right.
horrible internet. Starlink is in. We got amazing internet at the lake. Now I don't got to come back from the lake as quickly, right? Because I can run my meetings from the lake. It's great.
Yeah. I scared, talking about Starlink, I scared my wife one day because I came racing into the home. I looked like I just saw a ghost. I was reaching for the tinfoil at one point to put it on my head. And I said, did you see what just went up? Have you ever seen that line of satellites go through the sky?
Only your social media you shared on it. I haven't seen it.
I know. Have you seen it in person,
not in
Michael?
person.
Can't say I have, no.
Okay, so all the viewers out there, I'm going to attach a link. There's a website that actually lets you know. So it's a span of about 25 to 30 Starlink satellites that go through the sky in a straight line, and it's only visible for about 20 seconds. And every certain points of the year, it's like 2 or 3 days that it goes over Winnipeg, and it's a straight line. My kids thought
it was Santa Claus.
Well, my kids thought if Elon Musk, that first satellite, he should change red. Just around.
Just a little blinking red light, so it's Rudolph.
I was freaking out, but Starlink, you're right. It has. You've never seen it? I'll show you.
Well, I saw your video of it, so all I'm thinking is one day that's going to come crashing down on top of your house.
Oh man,
it was over your house.
It was right over. I went inside, and my wife looked at me. She goes, "That's Elon Musk." I was like, "Oh, now you're telling me about technology." Anyways,
there you go. Well, let me know next time it's due to.
I will.
Orbit.
It was
Yes, and all-
incredible. It was incredible. So I put away the tinfoil, back to normal.
You know what? Actually, Jesse, was really incredible.
Yeah.
Was during the hailstorm we had in Transcona and your porta potty blew off your driveway.
Oh,
That was incredible. You should share that video.
That was a
fun.
fantastic video. I had the porta potty just go right across my driveway and fall over. And because it was my porta potty, I had work doing in the backyard, I had to pick it up.
Yeah. You know what? Since you asked me about my Lions, I'm curious, what kind of a video are you going to make tonight with the Steelers? Are you going to be crying or are you going to be exuberant? What kind of a post should I expect tonight?
Yeah, well, so we're filming this before the game. This is going to air post Steelers game. So depending on how the game goes tonight, we might not even air this episode.
Fair enough. Is Pickett playing?
Yeah. My family
he
knows, What's that?
Yeah, but is Pickett playing tonight? Or I already was questioning.
Come on, like agents at LePage Prime, even when we are knocked down, we are still going to be there for our team. And he took a big shot to the ribs. He's playing, baby. I don't know how well it will go, but we'll see. We'll see if this episode even airs. Depending on
and Will Levis is starting for the Titans, so it should be interesting.
Hey, I've heard enough of
Well, young.
We got TJ Watt. Come on. TJ Watt's going to make a mess of him.
I think you guys should be able to take care of business tonight. As long as you can stop Henry, you'll be fine.
Well, I'm excited for it. I'm like a kid on Christmas, but talking about taking care of business, as we like to do here at Prime, and we thank you for everything that you do, taking care of business, making sure that we're in line and in check, and making sure everybody knows great stats and numbers. So and training, fantastic training.
It is
best in the biz. Thank you so much, Michael. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for your time, Michael.
Absolutely. Take care. Is he gonna close? He wants to stick around. I think he wants to smack talk my Steelers some more. I was like, I'll bring it to your Lions. Like,
I really can't relate to the football because I don't watch it.
That's
so
okay.
anyways,
That's good. Bombers are looking good.
Again, it's
You
want to talk WWE? I'll go all day.
So let's go.
I could talk about that. Besides that, I don't. And that more became something to bond with my daughter. Not really,
That's
I
fantastic.
stopped watching it years ago, but started again with her. So,
and that's why people love football too. And it's not just a sport, just like wrestling.
People are now watching football because of Taylor Swift. That is the only thing that is happening that has increased their viewers.
I thought I hated the Chiefs before. I hate them even more. Anyways,
I am sick of seeing this stuff
Yeah.
and like all these young kids watching, and the jerseys going through the roof because of like crazy. Anyways,
she's not even on the field.
She's built one hell of a brand, and one day I hope my brand is that solid and I can just walk into a place and everyone's like, ah. But anyways, she's done a fantastic job, whether I respect it or not. She's done a fantastic job. So.
When Murray walks in the room, I get excited.
I don't know.
I get excited. Murray's here. Yes. And you know what? And that's what we want. We want you guys to be excited to work with realtors. There's a lot of things going on right now. Obviously, with the rest of 2023, there's a lot of unknowns. But like Michael actually said this morning in one of our coaching, I think the main thing that I got out of it was, do you want to panic or plan?
Yeah.
And I think that goes for real estate. So whether it is renewing your mortgage, that's a tease for our next episode here on Realtor Talk. Renewing mortgages, checking out the equity of your home. Again, Winnipeg has not crashed. We have not. I've recently had a couple people that are renewing mortgages that want market evaluations. Murray and I are here to do that. So if you need some information on that, even if you're not selling your home, we can do that.
It's always good to know what your house is worth. It just helps you in the process, right?
Absolutely.
So, and then again, if you're coming up for renewal, there is no harm in shopping around to see if you can get a better rate somewhere else. Like you don't have to stick with your bank or your mortgage broker, whoever you're with. You can shop around. You will have to, if you shop, you have to requalify for a mortgage. So it's not as easy as just at your existing lender where you can just say, yep, I'm good to go, and away you go. But it's something to consider if you're trying to get a better rate.
That's right. So reach out to us. Again, that tease for the next episode of Realtor Talk. We will be talking to someone from RBC. So tune into that next episode. But a lot of great information today, Murray, along with a great burger. Man, you know how hard it was to eat in front of the boss here. So I'm going to dive right in here. So anything else?
Nope. I just think my mouse died, so I can't find. Oop. I can't find it. There we go.
There it is. Okay, we're good.
Awesome.
We're good. We are great realtors. Tech. We're still learning. We're all good.
Anyways, take care, everyone, and we'll talk soon.
See you next episode.